And there we are. Hey, Meredith.
Hey, Angel. Welcome to office hours.
Yes. I'm super excited. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Office Hours. We are here, Angel Livas and Meredith Moore Crosby, and we have a dynamic conversation lined up for you today. Meredith, did you send us hearts? Did you do our hearts yet? Like, we got to.
No,
I
not
need you to
yet.
send us some hearts.
I know. Hold on. I'm trying to do it on the computer this time. So let's see how this works. I don't even know how to like us now. I just liked.
Okay, cool. All right, so this week we have our very first guest that we are going to introduce into the show. Her name is Lisa McCurdy. She's going to join us about halfway through. We want to make sure that we have a lot of people tuned in to really hear the messaging that she's going to provide. But today's conversation is all about wealth and planning and just knowing how to make sure that your business is structured right, that your career is on the right path in regards to planning, and that you have estate plans in place as well. Um, but before we do and move all the way in that direction, we actually had a question from our conversation from last week. Meredith, you want to share the question and answer it?
No, I get to do both. Oh, that's so awesome. So the question was around procrastination, and what were some specific tips that we could offer if you are stuck and you're just looking for what are the things to do. So I actually have a visual, a few of them, because I am a recovering procrastinator and a recovering perfectionist. Very often the two things go in handy. So one thing, and this is not like a 3M plug, but I am a post-it lover. I keep post-its that say things like aim to be early. I don't know if you can see that. So not just setting yourself for that you want to do something on time, but if you know that you're dealing with procrastination, start setting goals and give yourself, say that you're going to do it earlier than you would usually plan to do it. The other thing is release yourself from saying that you are a procrastinator. I have another one. If you believe it, it is so. So stop saying that. Just reclaim for yourself that this year you're going to do things differently. And then there's a grid that I use when I feel like I am procrastinating on something to really be able to understand if it is something that, in fact, you just maybe need to release. Very often we take on too many things. So procrastination is really a result of we're just trying to do too much in too little time. So here you go. You just make a grid for yourself. You can do this in the doctor's office or when you're waiting or something like that. Important, not important, urgent, not urgent, right? And then you go through and look at the things on your list. Is it important? Okay. Is it also urgent? And if it's important and it's urgent, then it's something that you need to do now. In Angel's words, it's a now thing, right? And if it's important but it's not urgent, then it's a planet thing. It's something that you can wait, but you want to take some action. You want to put it on your schedule. You want to do something towards it, but it's not a now thing. That's important. And then if it's not important and it is urgent, then you want to delegate it. Find somebody, go on Fiverr, get somebody else to help you get it done. And if it's not important and it's not urgent, then drop it. Let it go. The best way to avoid procrastination is to not take on too many things. Typically, you want to take on 3 things or less. So, this is a chart that I use all the time. I have it in all my planners and all my notebooks just to help me with getting down to those 3 things and then just committing to take those 3 actions. So, I hope that answers the question from last week. And I love the opportunity to bring Tribe into your life, not to put into a plug, but Getting Unstuck, a guide to moving your career forward, does offer you tips like this and more. Back to you, Angel.
It's so funny. Well, actually, like because we are talking about tribe, and I think that overcoming procrastination is like a real thing. What are some of the things that people can learn as part of your executive program that you provide in the whole Getting Unstuck umbrella, under that umbrella?
So, one of the biggest things we talk about are your values and what you actually want to accomplish, and then do those things show up on your schedule. And so we'll go through goal setting. And then take me, for example, I have a goal around wellness and wanting to move every day. So then I go back and look at and measure myself on my scorecard to see, have I actually done that in the last week? So that you're not only setting goals, but you're making sure that they actually fit into your schedule. And then also, we have a supportive community that not only gives you that accountability, but also that support and recognition that we often miss when we start to set goals that might be outside of the workplace or outside of traditional goals.
Wow. All right. So, how would somebody say, hey, Meredith, I would love to learn more about this program? Like, what do I need to do?
They can drop me a note.
Okay.
It's that easy. Or you can go to gettingunstuckguide.com. But I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'm actually doing interviews still this week with people who might be interested in making a change this year, and they want to do it in 8 weeks with me. I'm going to be launching a program that I'm really excited about. So if you're watching this and you think you might be interested, drop me a note.
Awesome. 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 All right. I love it. Now, one of the things that like I was really excited about with this conversation is just helping people figure out like how do you plan and make sure. Ooh, my hair is like doing its own little thing up here. I can't tell which way it is. How do you tell or plan for the unexpected? And when you're in business, I don't know how many of you have ever run into a situation where you've gotten sick, you've had to go take care of a loved one, and you had to kind of remove yourself from your business because you just did not have the manpower to keep the business running while you take care of your personal business. Unfortunately, when you're in business for yourself, you don't get personal leave, you don't get sick leave. So if you don't have the proper things in place to ensure that your business can still function on all cylinders without you being there, then it causes things to collapse. It causes you to
Mhm.
lose your clients or whatever. So, after the unfortunate tragedy with Kobe Bryant, one of the things that Meredith and I talked about was okay, well, he's had all of these different things in place that his family's okay. So, what do myself and Meredith do in the event that something happens? And one of the things that I talked about was making sure that you have kind of like not just an accountability partner, but somebody who's in the same line of work that you can either establish some type of partnership with or some type of joint venture to ensure that you have somebody that if your clientele needs to keep functioning on all cylinders and you need to leave for a little bit, that things can still be in motion. Meredith, what are some other things or suggestions that you have for people to make sure that their businesses are still able to be in full gear?
I think what I feel like I hear so often, and I don't know, Angel, you get in this same position of people who are maybe earlier in their business, who I think is really who we're talking about, are like solopreneurs, mompreneurs, right? Like when it's one or two people in a business. And I guess I don't know if it's just my like corporate part, but a lot of us don't have enough things documented. Our operations, how we work. It's not. Set up in a way that if God forbid something happens to you, that somebody can step in and understand what's going on here. Where is the pricing? Where are these vendor agreements? Are they in good standing? Where is all of this? And I think it's a really a tough thing sometimes for people to think about, as a reason for why we should get organized, as a reason for why you might want to like digitize your files so that you can just easily be able to share those with your insurance person, your attorney. But I think those are very important to have those documents in place, to have those things written down, any agreements that you have, both with clients and with vendors, and to have a real explanation around your taxes. For a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, we might include our taxes, our business on our individual taxes. If you're not married or if your partner isn't privy to that information, those are all things that you want to make sure that everybody is aware of, so that you can stay up to date in that paperwork, so that nobody has to wonder, what were you thinking? It's very clear. You want to be very clear.
And I
Is that
think the
helpful?
no, 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 absolutely. And I think that the document that you're referring to is like your operational agreement.
Yeah.
So you know specifically how does that business operate. And so I think that this would actually be a great time to welcome Lisa to the show. What do you think, Meredith?
Yes. Yes. I had an and, but I'll wait.
Okay, so at this time, as we stated before, we have a special guest. Her name is Lisa McCurdy. She is an attorney and she is the woman behind the Wealth Counselor. And it's a boutique firm based in Washington, D.C. So I'm super, super excited to have her. And not only is she here, but she is one of our phenomenal speakers who will be joining us in Nassau, Bahamas for Vision 2020 alongside Meredith.
Ah,
Um,
Bahamas,
so I'm super,
Bahamas.
super excited. And so, yes, welcome. Oh, where'd she go? Oops. Hold on. Wait. There
I
she
can see
is.
Lisa.
I see
Yeah.
her. Hold on one second, y'all, because somehow or another we got.
I love the scarf.
Thank you.
Hold on one second, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me add you in. So this is live, y'all. So we doing a little bit of finagling here, but we're all good. All right, cool. All right, Lisa, we have you up now.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody meet Miss Lisa.
Hello, hello.
All right, so part of what we were talking about, Lisa, is around just how do you plan for the unexpected, especially when you are in business. I know I recently had you on the show, and one of the things that we talked about is making sure that you have certain um, forms and documents in place. One in which that Meredith just discussed was your operational agreement. What are some other things that you want to make sure that you have in place as a business owner?
So definitely, in addition to your operating agreement, which you both explained quite well, they're really the regulations that help you with the day-to-day operations and decisions among the different partners and officers in the company. But you should also prepare a buy-sell agreement.
Mm.
It's a bit of a will for your business. So when things are going great, everybody's excited to be coming together as business partners, long before there are any issues, if there ever are any issues. You want to plan for the exit of a partner, whether that's through death, disability, or just redirecting their career. There are formulas you can put in place that help you to determine the value so that some of those types of things, there isn't as much tension around those decisions when things are challenging, when, a key member of the business, a key owner, is either going through a challenging time or has passed away unexpectedly. You can put things in place very similar to putting things in place for your personal life in your buy-sell agreement for your business.
Meredith? So,
Huh. That was helpful.
oh yeah, no, I didn't know if you wanted to follow up. Sorry. So I would say that.
No,
So when would
no,
you
that was really
know?
helpful.
When do you know when your business has reached a point that you can um, move forward with these different things? Like when do you know
That
that
you
it's time?
need those things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's great to put something simple in place right away. So if you're establishing a business with someone else, even if you're establishing a business on your own, put things in place. Simple operational agreements, simple buy-sell agreement. Make sure that you have things in place if you have to be away from the business unexpectedly and there's a longer recovery time. Build partnerships and relationships. Oftentimes, it's a good idea to do so with others in your industry. Hopefully, you have some
Mm.
relationships with others in your industry because you'd never want your customers, your clients to have to deal with a prolonged period of your absence without also receiving the services and the products that they paid for. So this helps so that your business continues operations even while you're recovering, or even while there's an adjustment to ownership and operation in your business if a key person is not going to be returning. So put something simple in place, and very similar to your estate planning. It's life planning. So as your business grows, as you gain partners, as your business, kind of morphs and shapes itself, you're going to need different types of tools to address those new products and services and those types of things. So you should always be tweaking and revisiting, but put something in place at the beginning.
So can I ask a question, Lisa? So you
Absolutely.
said 2 time frames there, and to the point at the beginning with knowing when it's a do it now or when it's a plan it thing. So if last week we had a great question from somebody who had a hobby, not a business, so it
Mm.
wasn't profitable, and I want to maybe get your opinion on, so like at what level in your business should you just be, maybe I wrote this up and it sounds like a good legal agreement and we're signing it, versus I went to go see a real attorney and got this stuff done. Like,
You should see an attorney because you don't know what you don't know.
yeah.
And an attorney should be working with you. So if you're just starting your business, it's not profitable yet, you have vision, but things aren't quite in place, then you shouldn't be spending thousands of dollars on legal fees, and a reputable attorney isn't going to charge you that because the plan isn't going to require that. So you should be able to sit
Ooh.
down and consult with an attorney. Even if you feel as though there's a business that's on the horizon and maybe you haven't established it yet, you can often sit down with an attorney, hire them for an hour of their time, just to be able to ensure that you're putting things in place, so that you can come back to them when you are more established, when you've actually launched, and when you're moving forward. But there should be an attorney you can work with at each stage of your business. And obviously, fees and expenses and things like that should relate to the depth at which the planning is required, the level of expertise, the complexity. So I would say speak with someone early on.
Yeah. And is it in yours? So, like, I know I come from a family of attorneys, so I feel like I get an abundance of legal advice. Like, I could take less legal advice in my life, honestly. However, I noticed that in all of my areas, including like my insurance person, everybody has a legal background, but they might not be practicing attorneys. When you
Right.
talk about estate planning, is it important that it's a practicing attorney, or is it okay if it's somebody who maybe went to law school but is not active? You know what I'm saying?
I do. It should be not only a practicing attorney, but an attorney with expertise in the area of the law that you're seeking. So you wouldn't go to a personal injury attorney, one that helps you with recovering from an accident, to prepare to establish your business.
Mm-hmm.
Those are different skill sets, different types of expertise. I heard a wonderful example the other day that you wouldn't go to a dentist for major surgery.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to your ophthalmologist for heart surgery. Just
Mm-hmm.
different areas of expertise, and you want to tap into the latest opportunities, the latest models, the latest provisions, and things like that, because you want to be set up and you want your plan to work well for you.
Mm-hmm.
There are attorneys who call themselves more generalists. I believe that you need an expert in the area of the law that relates to the service you need.
So let
Mm-hmm.
me dive
Mm-hmm.
in here real quick and go to our audience because I'd love for this hours to be an engaging, interactive conversation with our audience. So if you have a question, now is the time to get your complimentary advice from three experts in our respective industries. Just post your comment below and we will ask it right now. Um, One of the things that I know, Meredith, you talked about, well, before, kind of like off air, was just kind of like the planning of even celebrities, like when they have, passed and things that they did or did not have in place. You want to ask Lisa more specifically what that question was that we were discussing that you were saying?
So I think the question was to your point around specialists and knowing what it is you need on your team at what stage. So the example we were talking about was Prince, because even for me, my dad early in Prince's career met Prince and told him he needed a number of documents in place and that you can't really work together if you can't sign documents. So the question was really around, I think so many of us now, as we get into business, really have our values and we go in with our position on what we need and what we don't need. But in the case of Prince, we saw it was to his detriment. There weren't guiding documents in place. His account went to probate. It was a very public discussion. So what's your recommendation on who should you have on your team if you are a business owner and you do want to be thoughtful about building the legacy of your business? What's that position that we should look for if you're going to put that out there in the universe? I need a.
I love the way you speak about it in terms of a team because that's exactly right. Um, while as an estate planning attorney, I'd help with preparing the buy sell agreement, you need an insurance professional to what we call fund the agreement. So, insurance, liquidity, cash can provide you the ability to continue your operations during a time of adjustment, during a time of transition. The
Mm,
insurance product is called key person insurance. So, when a key person is away, whether that is an unexpected death, where the beneficiaries of that partner need to be paid for their made whole for their interest in the business, or if for ongoing operations during a time of recovery from some type of operation, there needs to be a temporary CEO of the business, paid, hired, paid, and planted, to be able to continue operations so that your customers and clients continue to get service and your business continues operations. So you need your attorney, you need your insurance professional, you certainly need your CPA. Your CPA
mm,
helps you not only with determining the best business structure, so the type of entity you should establish at the beginning, but obviously tax planning. So that's different than tax filing. When at different times of the year you're going to file taxes, depending whether you're a business or an individual, the data is different. But planning. So
mm.
isn't it wonderful to be able to forecast what you possibly could owe, and to be able to forecast how to adjust your operations to
Mhm.
minimize your tax burden. So tax planning, you need your CPA. If you're thinking, if you have a mature business and you're thinking about perhaps selling your business, you might need a valuation specialist. So someone who can determine the value of your business, or a business broker. So your business, as it ebbs and flows, grows and changes direction, you'll need different types of professionals, but those, I would say, would be your kind of core team. And then,
Okay.
as you bring on employees, you would need HR professionals, et cetera. But I'd say those advisors initially.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think a lot of people probably don't have that many folks. So I think that's a good indicator of what you
What
need
you
to really
need.
protect yourself.
Right.
Thank you
Exactly,
for that.
exactly. And earlier, I know we were talking about, and it was a great question that you had. And we get this a lot. We want to work with our clients to realize their vision. We
Hmm.
don't want to plant our vision in place of theirs. We should be enhancing our client's vision. So I believe you asked something about whether it should be the client's vision, whether it should be
Yeah.
when should you listen to your advisors and take their advice. Well, you should certainly consume your advisor's advice, and ultimately you're going to be making the decision. But it's similar to makeup. Makeup should enhance your beauty. It should not overwhelm. It should not um, uh, replace what you look like and who you are at your core. And so, very similar. When you're working with advisors, advisors should help you to realize your vision,
Hmm.
should enhance the things that you're doing, not replace them with their own ideas or with the ideas of other clients and other individuals.
Hmm.
That's the best type of relationship to have.
Now, if you guys have any questions, we have a few more minutes. I would love for you to ask Lisa your estate planning questions. Now, I want to take the conversation in a slightly different direction for the people who are viewing that may not have a business per se. They may be, career executives, but we all have family. We all have people that we love. We all have people that we want to make sure that our plans are in place in the event that there is an emergency or unfortunate freak accident. And so, one of the things that I often hear from my clients is they just don't know what are the proper planning elements that they need to have in place and what protection they provide. There are a lot of people who assume that if I have a will in place, that this is all I need for my last quote unquote will and testament to be met, that this is what will happen if I die. And there are some people who don't even know what a trust is, and what are the benefits that come along with having a trust involved. So can you explain kind of like the
Sure.
protection that you have with a will and the protection that you have just kind of like basic with a trust without even worrying about like the business side of it?
Sure. Well, here's a shocker. Your last will and testament does nothing for you during your lifetime. Your last will and testament is a document that helps to identify the individual who will gather your assets and distribute them when you're no longer here. But remember earlier, we were speaking about how estate planning should be life planning. So as your life changes, your plan changes, adapts to your current circumstances. And so you do need documents in place that will manage the change in your life, whether it's aging, whether it's new children, whether it's grandchildren and planning for them. And a trust is just a wonderful tool to be able to do so, because a trust is really an asset management system. And it's one that you implement during your lifetime. So you're able to tweak it, you're able to adjust it, you are able to understand how it ultimately will operate when you are no longer here. And you are doing a lot of the work of gathering your assets, identifying and gathering your assets before your death. Through a will, your executor must find your assets, gather them, pay your final bills, find your beneficiaries, whether they're close relatives, and maybe you haven't had children, and maybe you're the last surviving of a line, then to find those remote relatives. With a trust, you're really facilitating a lot of that planning long before you pass away. And so it's a system that you're implementing now. And it's also a private system. I believe with the increase in reality television, we all, love to see the spectacle. But, the probate court can provide that same platform if there are issues unresolved in a family. They might not even be issues that you realize. There is that platform for outside forces, even close forces, so individuals in the family, to kind of weigh in concerning what they believe they should receive or should have received. And you'd be surprised, oftentimes it has nothing to do with big ticket items. It might be that trinket that has some emotional value. And those who've been congenial siblings for their lives suddenly no longer speak to each other. A trust, having established a trust during your lifetime, allows you to create that system in a private environment, because the provisions of the trust empower your trustee to make many of the decisions that a judge is required to make and finalize through a will. So you're creating that private environment, you're removing that platform that can generate some excitement and or foolishness. And you're bringing it to a private environment where all your vision can still be realized, and oftentimes in a much more certain manner, because you are identifying those individuals who are going to be assisting, and you're able to tweak and see how the process will operate down the road.
Thank you. That was a great and definitely detailed explanation.
You also need things like a power of attorney document to help you to make, just to identify the individuals who will help you to make decisions if you become incapacitated, no longer can make decisions on your own about your health care, your finances, whether it's paying your taxes or buying and selling property for your care. We're living a lot longer. It's not even unusual to live into your hundreds. I mean, it's quite ordinary. We're not even like super surprised. So it's likely that at some point, even if you retain, mental ability to make decisions, that physically you might need someone to have authority to assist you with your banking, to assist you with your medical care. And you want to be intentional about who that individual is, whom you trust, to implement plans that you would want to in the way you would want them implemented, and who would manage your finances in a sound way, similar to the way you would.
Okay, so I wanted to go back really quickly because we have a question from one of our viewers. Daryl asks, which is one of our HU family people. Hey, Daryl. He said, you mentioned the taxes in the States. How are you noticing individuals using philanthropy as a destination for inherited gifts, estates that will offset the tax hit? Where can one find more resources on the matter, or is that a service that you offer?
It's definitely a service we offer, actually in two ways. We work regularly with clients to determine how they will implement their philanthropic plans, not only at death, but to some degree during their lifetime. And I'll circle back to that in a few minutes. But there are wonderful ways to provide direct bequests, but there are also tax advantage ways to both support a charity and annuitize and receive income during your lifetime. It's a complex structure. They're charitable trusts. And usually you're speaking about an individual whose net worth is in the several millions. So oftentimes an individual who currently has federal tax exposure. So assets to protect and assets to plan around in excess of 12 million, so 11,600,000. Um, then we would be looking at tax advantaged ways um, to contribute charitably. Oftentimes now, for other types of clients, we are suggesting implementing things, putting things in place during your lifetime. So, whereas during certain circumstances, lower thresholds to lower tax issues in the past, where $1 million may have been the tax threshold, 3,500,000, 5 million in the past, where many more individuals had challenges with estate tax. We set up different types of structures, more complex structures, more charitable trusts and things like that. But we're really only looking at those types of structures for a high net worth individual. But charitable giving can be very helpful. It can be very helpful to begin those plans during your lifetime. We always recommend connecting with the organization, letting them know that you have provided a bequest in your estate documents. You'd be surprised at how helpful that is, not only for that organization's plans, so to align some of their strategic plans toward those future gifts. No, that doesn't mean that they're sitting around waiting for your death. Actually, they're very likely to invite you in to begin getting involved in some of the strategic planning now, so that your gift can be even more meaningful through a bequest, through your trust, or through your will, and possibly really developing some meaningful programs aligned with your gift that tie to your values and your principles.
Okay, that's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I love so much about what you said is just the idea of being proactive and building these relationships now and having those conversations with your family, talking to the organizations, so that this isn't something that people are trying to figure out after the fact, but people can really have a present day conversation. Angel, I don't know if you were going to ask, but is that what Legacy on Purpose is about? Or when is your book a good tool in
Oh,
your planning process, especially for people who have aging parents?
No,
Did I
before
jump
no,
in, Angel?
no. That was perfectly, because I was about to go there, but I was gonna say
back to
we need a quick
your
we need a quick response. And I just want to let you guys know, if you have questions, please type them in so we can get to them before the show runs out of time. So if you can answer that quickly in regards to the new book, go ahead, Lisa.
Sure. Well, it just happens to be here.
We
Quick
love
work.
it.
So, Legacy on Purpose is we established to be able to do exactly what you just mentioned: unlock those values, principles, redirect and focus estate planning on celebrating life. You mentioned Prince, and we know many other celebrities have failed to plan, or failed to plan well and relevantly. And a lot of times that's just the core fear that many of us do around death, dying, and disability. At the end of the day, celebrities are human. So Legacy on Purpose helps you to unlock those principles and values through a series of exercises. And you'll be more excited about your estate planning.
I
That's
love
what
it.
we're
Will you
hoping.
put it up again so I can
Sure.
recognize it when I see it? And is it available on Amazon, or where can I find it?
Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, through Blurb.com, which was the publisher. So you can find us everywhere.
I love it. Thank you.
And if you are at the retreat in Nassau, Bahamas, you will receive a signed copy of the book. You'll be able to
That's
get
right.
her autograph along with it. And she's going to use it as a tool, as kind of like a workshop during the retreat to really help people start those conversations, go through the different elements that they need, whether it's for themselves, whether it's for people that they love, but to make sure that those items are in place as you navigate through 2020 and beyond, really. And it's a great legacy piece for your family to have as a keepsake as well. I think that's the other thing that I love about the book.
Absolutely. It's going to be something you are going to be able to share with your entire family. As a matter of fact, gather the whole family, have everyone answer some of these questions, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes we work with multiple generations of families, and the 5-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, they have an idea about these types of things.
They have to think
so. Productive members of society, and the family to be known well in the community. So
have you met our kids? That sounds exactly like them. They think it's their money.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lisa. And everybody, if you want to have more information about Lisa, you can go to thewealthcounselor.com. Is that correct? Thewealthcounselor.com to get more information, more details about all of the wonderful products and service offerings that she provides. Any last minute things you want to share your social media handle with our audience, please?
Sure. The Wealth Counselor Defining Legacy Group. We actually published the journal through defininglegacygroup.com. So be sure to check us out over there. And Lisa G. McCurdy. So you can find us anywhere. We're happy to help, happy to answer your questions, and happy to help you to celebrate life so that you can legacy on purpose.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. Hey.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Lisa. Let's see. Is there anything else that we wanted to go over, or should we wrap with all of us? What do you think, Mare?
It's up to you. You're the technology. But I will say, before Lisa leaves, can we pause to say a belated birthday, happy birthday?
Oh yes,
to
happy
Angel.
Happy birthday. Thank
and
you.
anybody who knows
Angel,
I
won't sing.
Right? Anybody who knows Angel knows that it is a year-long occasion. So we'll be toasting to you in the Bahamas, but could not let the opportunity go by. Happy birthday.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right. Bradisha in Bahamas said, thank you for sharing Legacy on Purpose. Lisa, and then we also had Kendu in Ghana who tuned in and said thank you.
Nice.
So yes, we have our global audience here. We're super excited. Yes. If you were not able to ask your question, or you just did not want to ask your question publicly, please make sure that you send us a message, and we will definitely respond and answer your questions live. It's so funny. Like, I notice like a lot of people don't like asking their questions like live on here.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe they don't want to be found out that they have like questions and they don't know the answers to something. But I'm like, this is why we're here.
I'll tell you where we get the best questions: at a cocktail party, pulled over into the corner. I have a quick question about this estate planning issue that's been on my mind.
I don't want them questions.
No, not. And if I'm at a reception,
happy to answer, happy to help.
And my red wine is flowing. No, I'm not.
But Angel, I think you bring up a good point, though. And Lisa, I started out in finance, and I feel like we do in our community because we don't have this resource in maybe our immediate family or in our immediate friend group. And so then when we do get it, it's like, I don't even know what to ask. I'm embarrassed that I don't know things. Right. But that is why we created this space, is so that you could know that there are people who share your values that are out there. You could know that there are people that want to teach you and not just take things from you. Mm-hmm. So you do have to take advantage of the opportunity. You do have to ask the questions. Otherwise, as you see, I'll sit here and ask all my questions all day long.
Right.
No, this
we're here to help.
And I think it was a great opportunity for us to test technology out. And I think overall we did pretty good. I had some hiccups, but yes, we will continue to do better and improve upon in that area. And this, like I said, like I appreciate having both of you as speakers at the Women Behind the Business retreat in Nassau. Oh, we have another question.
Okay.
Anika, I haven't read it yet. Let's see. What did Anika say? Anika said, I just happened to log in, and when you say God work in mysterious ways, believe it. I've been inquiring about estate planning. This was awesome. Thank you, ladies. And happy birthday.
Oh, wonderful.
Aw,
Thanks for
yay.
joining us.
See? And she said, "Happy birthday, Angel." You skipped over that part.
I said it. No, I appreciate it, Anika. Anika and I used to work together at AARP like nearly like a decade ago. Wow, it's crazy. So yes, thank you all so very much. Thank you for your wisdom and your wealth of knowledge that you have shared with us, Lisa. Meredith, thank you for being the rock star that you are and for sharing information around Getting Unstuck. You guys can get her book also on Amazon and everywhere places that books are sold. My book is Side Hustle to Main Hustle, which is also available online on Amazon in PDF version. Actually, you know what? If you are interested in a copy of my book, I'm going to give away 5 free copies of the book today
What?
in celebration of my birthday.
Y'all gonna be blessed today. That's a happy birthday giveaway.
That's
Yes.
right.
So if you, the first 5 people to go to angelandlivas.com/thank you, you will receive a complimentary copy of the book. I'm gonna have to go in real quick and make sure I
Ooh.
cap it at 5. But yeah,
Right.
if you go to angelandlivas, my name.com/thank you, you'll be able to download a free version of Side Hustle to Main Hustle. So yes, I think that is it. I think that's our show for today. Like I said, please make sure that you send us your questions. Meredith has already shared the link to where you can you can get more information. Sorry, Daryl just wrote, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book.
That's what I was gonna say. It's an Oprah moment. That's what I was gonna do. You get a book. You get a book. You get a book. That's what you should do, Angel. That's how you should close us out.
Oh, my bad. Well, we just did it. And Disha said that Side Hustle to Main Hustle is an excellent read. So thank you
It
all.
is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we are signing off now. We're done.
I was
go
gonna
ahead,
put in
Mary. What you
another
got?
plug. Can I put in a plug
Absolutely.
though?
Put in a plug.
Yes, for anybody who is looking for clarity, either in their business or in their financial planning, this is still the perfect time to join us at the retreat, February 20th to the 24th. What's the website again, Angel, to get the full agenda and register?
It's wbbtalk.com/registration. I will put up a little thing really quickly.
Yes, because we will be having cocktails. And I cannot think of a better thing when we talk about last week and everybody who tuned in about getting stuck as we go into February, setting a goal and having that community coming up at the end of the month, getting this advice, these places where you're stuck, where you're letting fear hold you back. If you can take one action before we see you next week, have it be something that is going to motivate you to move forward. Pick something exciting. Maybe it's that you talked to Lisa and now you're going to order the book. Whatever it is, pick an action that you can take right now. Don't have it be something that you're going to put off. So maybe it's you're going to go register for the retreat. Whatever it is, comment about that too, because we want to hear from you what you're doing as a result to us investing our time. We said in the beginning, this is a two-way thing. So like we said, we're just going to start showing up and having conversations by ourselves. So tell us, what are the actions that you're taking so that we can support you and encourage you? And just like you saw us celebrate Angel's birthday, we want to celebrate you too. So that's my end plug, Angel. I think everybody, we got to get offline and we got to get in person. And you have built an incredible thing with this retreat. And I think everybody who is able needs to make that investment in themselves to show up and connect with others. So that's all. I'm going to get off my soapbox.
Yes, and then we will hang out on the beautiful island of Nassau on the beaches. You can either be in the nude or you can, do your swimsuit, whatever you want. No judgment, no judgment zone. Okay.
I'll be my moo-moo.
All right. Lisa's like, where did this conversation just go?
I am looking forward
This
to
is
it.
the
We're
after
gonna have a
hour
great
office
time.
hours.
All right. No, so this has been great. Thank you all for tuning in. If you need to catch the entire segment, There will be a replay available if you want to subscribe to the newsletter where all of the different segments will be going out. Meredith is handling that. Meredith, you want to give them the newsletter link?
You can go to visibilitymatters.us and you can get the last episode and you can sign up to get everyone in your inbox. So we're making it really easy for you. We're learning.
Yes. All right. Well, until next time, thank you again, Lisa. Thank you, Meredith. And from all of us from Minnesota, DC, and Virginia, have a wonderful rest of your week and be blessed. We'll see you next time.
Excellent. See you in Bahamas.
See you.
Yeah.